If you're in your 20s, this video is especially for you. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrew and this is Mindset and Methods. And today I just want to share with you some lessons that I've learned. I'm in my mid-30s now, and some of the things I want to talk to you about include some of the mistakes and lessons that I could have learned sooner. And I just want to pass it down to you as someone who is in the future, lest you make the same mistakes, or just to give you a heads up of what you might come across in your life journey. I do understand that in your 20s, life is full of adventure, you're full of energy, it's wild, it's beautiful, and at the same time absolutely terrifying because you're only just being initiated into this life. I assume you're just finishing college if you've gone through third level education, venturing into relationships, getting your first entry job, the beginnings of your adult life essentially. You're no longer a child, you are now going to fly off your parents' nest. So this isn't a set of instructions or a manual, rather just some guiding principles that I think would be universally applicable. Whether you're a guy or a woman, when you're young, everybody says life's ahead of you. Well, what is ahead of you? So if you would allow me to just share what I've learned and still learning, or for you to avoid some of the pitfalls that you might encounter as you venture through life. The first set of lessons pertains to money. And the reason I want to talk about money is it's such an important part of life, at least in the economy, in what you buy, what you sell, what you earn. It affects all of material life. We now live in this globalized commercial online world, and you can't escape from money. And the first lesson I want to share is that a bigger paycheck will not save you. And what I mean by that is banking in your future self, earning and making more money. That will not save you. But I'll tell you what will, and that is your habits. And if you don't have this bed down early on, the same bad habits will have an impact, regardless whether you make less or more money. And the habits that I wish I'd learned earlier on is managing that money. When you've entered your first job, your entry position, you might not be earning much, but what you do and how you manage the thing that comes into your bank account, what I'm essentially telling you is to have intention with your money. You can't manage what you don't measure. And so in short, I am, in a way, suggesting that you do have a budget. What is the purpose of your dollars or your euros? So many people would say, save what's left over after you've accounted for all the expenses. But I would say reverse to that. The four things that I wish I should have learned was that number one is to give your money. And by that I mean setting aside an intentional amount that you are willing to give. Be that to a charity or a cause or to family or to your church, anything that you find worthy, a worthy cause. Because having that attitude of loosely holding on to your money will prevent any kind of control that will have on you in the future, and prevents you from becoming too greedy and too tight-fisted with the resources that you have. The second thing, next to giving, is to save. Set aside an amount that you know that you can spare and just automate that savings. I was surprised to have learned all this time that my own parents, having raised us wonderfully over the years and have sacrificed much for us, have not kept the budget. In other words, they didn't have any purpose for the money that's coming into their bank accounts. It was just available and they spent it as it was available to them. In a way, that's kind of a carefree attitude to money, but that also became a source of stress many times in their lives. And so I would set aside a saving, whatever percentage you can afford. And then the leftover is what you spend. And you'd be surprised how you can tailor your life to whatever amount is left. Because if you reverse the order, you would have spent all of your money that's available to you and would have found ways to justify it. But if you've reduced it and you've proportioned what you're going to give, what you're going to save, that leftover pot will be for your everyday expenses. So having a budget and having a plan for your money is one of the important things I wish I should have learned earlier. And so I would have avoided debts, which is my second point. Debt is a thief. When you take out a loan, you're not just repaying that amount that you took out, you're repaying that plus interest. And some of the banks or financial institutions will charge you far more than what you borrowed. And what that does to your brain, what that does to your stress levels, is far more than extra cost monetary wise. It's going to rob you of your mental health, whether you could sleep at night. It's going to be a cause of worry whenever it comes up, especially when you're married. That's going to be a source of tension and fights and arguments. And so it's best to not be in debt. I know this from experience. It was unnecessary because I wasn't budgeting. I didn't know the true expenses that were down the line, and so I had to take out loans just to cover this when it could have been saved up for. The only one or two big things that you might need to take out a large sum of money is your mortgage for your house, or if you're stuck with a student loan, perhaps. But if you could avoid it, avoid debt. Don't let it rob you. And another tip regarding money is that you don't actually have to be rich or to have lots of money to invest. And by that I mean buying assets that would grow and appreciate over time. And because time is such a crucial component of money, you have to account for it growing in the future. And you can't grow it if you don't have that much time. Time is the greatest of all commodities, of all currencies. In fact, money is one of the lowest forms. Time being something that you cannot rejuvenate, it's non-renewable, whereas you can always make money. You can't take back time. And so if you're in your 20s and you can invest, open an investing account, just invest in the market. The S&P 500 index, track that, contribute to it faithfully and consistently, and add more if you can, and that will only stand to you. Now, if you're worried whether that's going to lose money, well, yes, it is always going to be a risk, but if your time horizon is long enough, you'll be able to weather out the ups and downs of the market. And this next series of advice pertains to yourself and to other people. And so what I want to say is, in regards to yourself, the earlier that you learn this, the better. Stop trying to impress people. Stop trying to do things that you don't want to do just to get others' approval. Rather, focus on becoming someone that you yourself will be proud of. Early in my 20s, I focused so much on what others thought about me that it molded me into something that I wasn't really liking about myself, and yet I was willing to sacrifice that so I get others' praise and their opinions that would be positive about me. And so the advantage that you have is that you have energy and you have time and you have all these motivations and pursuits and aspirations. So if you're thinking about applying for that risky job or something that would be out of the ordinary for you to do, I would suggest muster up the courage to go for it. Don't undermine yourself. Believe until you achieve it. Fail often, fail spectacularly, because all these failures will just be more and more lessons for you to learn and to pivot quickly. I've come to learn that no skill is too hard. Yes, others will have natural affinities to certain things and natural abilities and talents, but if you put your mind to it, you could get to a level of proficiency that would be beneficial to whatever that is that you want to pursue. I would rather embrace the failed attempts rather than live a life of regret haunting me for the rest of my life. I wish I should have done that. I should have done this. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. So take that calculated risk if you can. The next lesson is to learn not to settle in your comfort zone. The reason it's called comfort zones is because it's cozy and comfortable and not hard, not challenging. And there might be times and places where that is beneficial, but quite frankly, nothing grows in the comfort zone. In fact, it will just mold you into a less capable person because your environment isn't challenging you enough. Whereas if you start to venture out of that, yes, you will feel discomfort, but you will adapt, you will become stronger, and you'll find that life doesn't get easier. You'll just become more capable and more accustomed to it. And so the earlier the better that you're familiar with challenges and hard things, the less you'll settle, which then will become far harder to pivot from when you're older. I just imagine an overweight person who is sunken deep into their couch that it's almost impossible to get up from. It's certainly difficult. I'm not saying to not enjoy the comforts of life or periods of time where you might just need to take it easy, but don't stay there too long. And this next lesson is to surround yourselves with people that would be of kindred spirit, and hopefully their spirits would be that of a growth mindset, ones that would challenge you. You know, they say you would be the average of the 5 people you hang out with, and so don't be the smartest one in the room, don't be the most capable in your circles. Have someone that will always pull you up, and so you could aspire and try and be better. And surround yourselves with friends that would celebrate your wins and also grieve your losses and regrets with you. And as I'm realizing now, the older you get, it's actually harder and harder to not only acquire new friendships, but to maintain ones as well. And you need this time to really develop a strong core of friends, especially for men, I believe. And I've seen enough older people, older men, who don't have many friends to challenge them, to bring them up on certain issues, or just give them general feedback. So they have nothing to reference and to improve from. So try and figure out the closest ones to you, the ones that would be for you, and hopefully you're also that friend for them. This next lesson pertains to understanding your why, your reason for being. It's going to be really challenging navigating your life, traversing this tricky path without understanding your goals or what you're about. And I understand that when you're young, it's hard to figure this out, but the sooner you can, the more it will inform your behavior, your lifestyle, your purpose. And once you figure out your manifesto, as it were, you'll be able to then craft strategically how you're going to implement this on a month-to-month, week-to-week, day-to-day basis. And as you figure out your why, your convictions will become stronger, and you might need to be able to protect it when it gets challenged. Because when you're being blown by all sorts of influences and people's opinions, you'll be just dragged away, floating with no control. How I've done this is to determine what I'm passionate about, the things that I find worthwhile doing with my time, and just endeavor to pursue it. That might relate to your work. Is your job giving you the satisfaction? Does it fulfill your purpose? Does it grow you? Does it give you opportunities? Or does it just make you stagnant? And when you consider the areas of impact that you will have on other people's lives or in society, the more fulfilling it becomes. And I wish I've known this a little bit sooner, rather than wasting time not thinking about it too much. And the last lesson I want to share is one that I am learning even right now, is that if, Lord willing, I'm able to live up to 80 or 90 years old, surrounded with my grandchildren or great-grandchildren, that I will be able to recount my days with fondness, full of memories and less regrets. Things I know that I'd be proud of having done or achieved or pursued, so that happy ending to a story that with a smile on my face I'm able to share and be content with. And people don't tell you this. Your life is not made up of the high points. You know, you get a promotion in a job, you marry your dream girl, you have your family, all these things. That actually is just but a small little highlight. Life is actually made up of the mundane, the daily routines that you do, whether you've played with your kids on a Monday evening, whether you've casually, spontaneously turned up to a friend's house and enjoyed an evening full of laughter and jokes and catching up, or just that date nights with your wife or significant other, those meaningful walks with your friends. These are mundane and easily implementable. Life is made up of those, and you'd find when you ask older people, they would recount those moments that they'd never planned to be a core memory, and yet it just happens to be. So don't hesitate to be intentional in the little things, because they made up together such a wonderful collection of memories that you can share and you can look back in fondness. So I might not be an ancient person. I'm still in my mid-30s. I'm 34 right now as I'm recording this. But still, there's over a decade that I could share with you that I've gone through, that I could have tweaked and improved and refined when I was younger. I certainly could have invested earlier, for sure. I certainly could have developed skills. I could have pursued my YouTube aspirations way before, because I did have that, and I postponed it because I was fearful and convinced myself that I wasn't ready. And so I'm just recording this for you listening. Take that plunge. Craft a life that's worth sharing. Be brave enough, be courageous enough to take the risks. Embrace mistakes. Don't be afraid of failure, because that will get you stuck. Don't be paralyzed comparing yourself to others, because they have their own journey as well. You have your own. Stay in your lane, head down, and just pursue the thing that you're pursuing. Only compare yourself to your previous self. Have you improved? And even if you've just improved by a small bit, even 0.1% is 100% improvement than nothing. And as you develop these habits, you actually become a very conscious person, one that's familiar how to engage with yourself, how to think for yourself, and so you look at the world equipped and streetwise, as they say. And I'm not saying this as someone who's figured it all out. Far from it. I'm still figuring things out, but now I know how to approach it. Now I know what advice I could give or take. Life is a teacher, and they say that you learn from your experiences, but I would say you learn from reflecting on your experiences, because everybody experiences some things. They don't reflect on it, and so they don't learn. And so I hope this video has been helpful. It's just a quick one. I just wanted to share this one. This has been in my mind that I wanted to share. And please do check out my other videos that I talk about in this channel. Certain topics like handling your finances or managing your work and being intentional. And I'll see you in the next one.